We're also honoring the other 48 people that passed 4 years ago today. Grief has no timeline. So as the years go on and time goes on, our memories and our respect and our love for the people that we lost grows stronger. I would like to thank the mayor, the chief of police, MCC Church of the Trinity, the Dove, Sarasota Dove Release, and the news media for covering this event. I would now like to introduce the mayor, who's going to have some remarks, followed by the chief of police, then MCC Church, a moment of silence, and then we're going to release the doves. So thank you for coming.
Centered. Thank you all. Can you hear me with my mask on? Okay, I'll try to read this. Every year on June 12th, we gather to remember the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting. That day in 2016, 49 lives were stolen from us, including the life of Sarasota's Eddie Sotomayor Jr. What they did not steal from us was our voice. We choose not to remain silent. Instead, we choose to remember Eddie and the victims and survivors of Pulse and to honor their lives by continuing the fight for equality. We fight for a world in which our LGBTQ community has equal rights. The right to not be discriminated against. The right of acceptance. To be protected from violence, hate crimes, to live openly or privately, however one chooses. We fight for the right to equal protection before the law, to marry, to speak out, and to march in unity with fellow LGBTQ communities and allies. Today is the day we speak out with you, but not just today, every day. Because until we live in a world in which we are all free to exist without fear, to love without judgment, and to pursue happiness without hindrance, none of us is free. Let us honor Eddie and all those beautiful lives that were lost by honoring the way in which they lived, and most importantly, the way in which they loved. We honor them by saying no to hatred and by saying yes to love. Yes to love in all its glorious forms and its power to heal and prevail. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here to recognize and honor the men and women that were killed 4 years ago in Orlando at Pulse nightclub, and also the 53 individuals that were injured. I thank you for allowing me to help represent and recognize the first responders that ran to the scene to help the people that were there and apprehend the individual that was involved in this horrific incident. When I think back at 4 years ago and I think about the hate that could cause someone to do what they did on that night, it makes me cringe. Hate has no place here in Sarasota, no place in Orlando, no place in Florida, and no place in our nation. There's no place for hate in our world. It is out of love that we are going to conquer this hate. And I commit to you that the men and women of the Sarasota Police Department have the love and the commitment to keep you safe, keep our community safe, and fight to make sure this type of hate doesn't happen again. But if it does, I promise you, we will be running to protect you and keep you safe. because we love you, we love this community, and we love our entire nation. Again, thank you so much, and my deepest sympathy of the loss of Eddie Sotomayor, who was loved. I've read about him and I've talked to his friends. He's missed, but we will never forget him, and we will never forget the people that died because of love. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Tony Viglione from Church of the Trinity MCC here in Sarasota. Thank you for asking me to be here. I want to just share with you that the shortest verse in the Bible is in the Gospel of John, and it says Jesus wept. And I can assure you on that, in those early morning hours of June 12, 2016, Jesus wept. And Eddie and 48 others were murdered because of anti-gay violence. And also for the 53 that were injured, and most have healed physically, spiritually they are still injured and are still trying to heal. So let's keep them in our prayers as well. But I want to say one other thing. The post-Nightmare Massacre was the deadliest single incident of anti-gay violence in the United States of America. And as the chief said, they are well prepared to prevent and to respond if that were to happen again. We appreciate that. Thank you. But I want to take a moment also to say that in today's current environment, we need to also honor and memorialize all the lives that were lost due to anti-Black, anti-trans, anti-Latinx violence that is happening and continues to happen in our world today, in our country especially. So as we pray today for Eddie and the victims of the post-Nightmare Massacre, please keep those people in your thoughts as well. Right now I'd like to call up Reverend Donna, also from Church of the Trinity, to pray with us.
Thank you. Will you pray with me? Holy One, all of us here today and people around the world gather to remember the 49 precious souls who were shot down at the hand of a deadly gunman at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. To remember the friends and the family of those precious souls as they continue to feel the loss and the impact of this tragedy on their lives. To remember those who were injured, the ones whose bodies have been forever changed, the one whose recovery is still in progress, the ones whose emotional pain is still palpable every single day. To remember the city of Orlando as they continue to recover from the trauma of this event that has forever changed them. God of many names, we seek every part of you, who you are this day. And we acknowledge that every person who died at the Pulse nightclub because of hate was a person made in your own image and reflected a part of who you are. God, help us today to never forget that rainbow is not just a flag or a prism or even a biblical story, but rather a reminder that every time we look at the faces of those who are different than we are, we have the opportunity to see a different part of who you are. Yahweh, above all else this day, we seek to live in ways that honor those who lost their lives on June 12, 2016 at the Pulse nightclub. Oh God, we raise our voices together today, and we speak loudly the words that echo, on earth as it is in heaven. Hate tried, but love won. Hate still tries today. Love still wins. Thank you for this assurance, and thank you for hearing our prayers. In the name of all that is holy, amen. Amen. And now we'd like to take a few moments of silence.
we're doing a 4-bird release today. Eddie has left us physically. He's always in our hearts. All of you. He's going to be 3 more birds will be released representing the Trinity. They're with him. He's with his Savior. The birds will all join up in the sky before they leave the area. And they are going home, just as our loved ones have gone home. One day we all will, and we will all be together again.
Thank you all very much for coming. I appreciate your time, and on behalf of Eddie's family and friends, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
And anybody else here that you, Eddie?
Eddie's roommate.
Yeah.
She's doing well. Having a baby. So she's a nurse in Sarasota Hospital in the ER. So she's she has no choice but to work.
It's okay. Sorry. Yeah, let's take